As you've probably heard, Donald Trump has placed tariffs that will go into effect Tuesday that are 25% on Canada and Mexico and 10% on China. Look, after COVID, the inflation all over the world, including America, has been crazy. And, you know, from what I've heard from people who deal with importing and exporting, and you may have heard as well, is that the tariff percentage increase is basically just going to be passed on directly to the consumer, the American consumer. And I do see the vision that maybe this could put some sort of pressure on these countries to, I guess what he wants is to bring more industries into America, but the reality is these goods and services can't necessarily just be brought straight into America. Not everything, you know. One thing that I read was that the heating or the cost of heating could go up because of our trade with Canada. You know, we have some sort of trade with Canada that will affect Americans' heating bills. And, down in Arizona where I used to live, there wasn't much of a heating bill, not in my house. I didn't have to spend that much on heating. But up here, where it's cold in the Pacific Northwest, I mean, heating is a huge cost. I think that's one of the reasons why it's much more expensive to live here because it's so cold a lot of the winter, a lot of the year. And I think a lot of America is like that, in the northern parts of America, you got to spend a lot of money on heating. And I think that's about a 10% increase. So that's going to be passed on directly to the consumer, the American people, after we've already been hit with inflation. It's not good, man. The thing is, the economy does go up and down, and there's good points and bad points. And, roughing it out for a while, that is going to happen no matter what. That is definitely going to have to happen. And we're going to have good points as long as that time comes. And I just hope that whatever the plan is with these, whether he's just putting his foot down to actually bring jobs to America or, you know, entice businesses to come here, I don't really know if that's just going to happen because of a tariff. I mean, I would love to believe that this is a great move. I would, but we'll just have to see. We will have to see because this inflation stuff is crazy. Like I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's just I remember when I used to be able to go out to eat no problem. I used to get my groceries no problem, and everything is just a little bit more expensive. I mean, it seems like a lot more, honestly. Everything's a lot more expensive, man. And the way of life that I think so many people have been used to is kind of just it's tighter, man, and it's not really fun. It's definitely not fun. I want to see people prosper in life. I want to see people be able to go out and enjoy themselves and their money and have some freedom because that's, I mean, synonymous with America is freedom, right? Well, you need some extra capital if you want freedom, because you can only get so much done with a limited budget, and it's tight out here, man. So what? We got 10% on China, which I mean, China ships us all so many things, so many things. And Canada, we've got some heating, maybe some natural gas coming from there that's going to affect that. And then Mexico, man, I don't really know the products that Mexico gives us, but 25% is a lot. Another thing, we got him wanting to crack the Mexican government. He wants the Mexican government to crack down on the fentanyl trade, which I think you know, I would love to not see people falling asleep while they're standing up while I'm driving down the road. I think it's terrible. Um, it's sad that people are in so much pain that they feel like they need to use things like that just to escape reality. And I kind of had this idea the other day. It's like, man, maybe like the food is so poisoned in America that if you're in a, I don't even want to say you're poor, but if you don't have the knowledge to feed yourself or the money to feed yourself good food, like, you know, food that's going to make you feel good. Because I feel like just the putting poison food in your body alone is enough to make you feel sick. And then that even might make you want to use fentanyl more, you know? I mean, it's entirely possible, just my speculation, but I think it would be great for those things not to come into America or for the Mexican government to crack down on it, you know, only for the fact that I don't want to see people suffering anymore because I think it's terrible. And American cities really have, yeah, man, those drugs are terrible. I mean, they're stronger than and cheaper, and more people are causing damage to themselves, and it's sad to see, you know. Luckily, there's a lot of programs around here that help people in times of need, but it would be a lot nicer just to have people not suffering as much. You know, that's to go. That's maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy for that one. But yeah. So you know, it's a cool idea. I don't know if implementing these tariffs is going to necessarily, you know, make a change so that outcome can happen. You know, I would think it would be more complicated than that. It's hard to say though. It's very hard to say. I mean, shoots, if we can send all this money to Ukraine and to frickin' the Middle East, why not send some money to work with Mexico and frickin', you know, stop things from coming up that way, you know? I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I know that these things that come across the border, these substances, they're not great, man. They're definitely not great. It's really messing people up. So we've got some plans in place, and we just got to see how it turns out. You know, I like the sentiment. I like if it's gonna make the economy better. I don't know about that one. I would love to believe that. Is it gonna stop drugs from coming up south of the border? You can only hope, honestly. You can really only hope, and you got to try something, I guess. You know, I mean, you have to try something because I don't know. I think it's a good issue. I definitely. What would be another solution to that, man? Look, I'm really passionate about making your body work well and like having things run smoothly so you can enjoy life. And there's a lot of things to enjoying life, but moving and fueling yourself is definitely conducive of a happy life, along with your friends and family. Um, I'm severely addicted to my phone. It's challenging me in my social life. I feel, or it's a replacement for that, which is not great, and that doesn't make me happy. Um, so we could fix that, and they banned Red 40, which I think is an amazing step. It's not something that I see in my food at all, but man, there's probably a long list of things that we could ban in the food just to, you know, that people don't need to eat. Like, people would eat it regardless, these foods, and they would taste delicious without these terrible ingredients. Like, there's like delicious food that doesn't have terrible ingredients that kill you, but also, you know, it just doesn't need to be there, because once you change the rules, like, the companies are going to be forced to, you know, follow suit and change those too. So, anyways, man, we'll see what happens with all these tariffs. And I hope you guys stay healthy and have a blessed day. Peace.